Welcome, dear friends. What a blessing to be with you today. Another day, another loving opportunity to learn with Emmanuel. Today's message is from the book Words of Life Eternal by Emmanuel through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. Today's message is titled Let Us Remain Faithful. And it starts with a Bible quote from Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 2, that says, Moreover, it is required of stewards that each one be found faithful. So, dear friends, if we are stewards of the Spiritist doctrine, the third revelation, the promised consoler, are we faithful to God and to Jesus in this mission of spreading Spiritism? First question. And Emmanuel comments by saying, in a machine, safe and efficient production requires that every part function properly in its assigned place. In an orchestra, for a symphony to achieve its full melodic strength, each instrument must fulfill its proper role. Likewise, in the work of the gospel, it is essential that every worker understand the responsibilities entrusted to them. So let's look broadly at our lives. Every time we come together, we don't just read the translated messages or parts of the messages, but we try and do what? Apply these teachings to our daily lives. So, in our lives, which part of the machine am I? Which part of this machinery of life in this beautiful universe am I playing for the safe and efficient production, right? We want to do things in a safe and efficient way, but I'm not talking about the physical things we do because that's intuitive. We live in a materialistic world that demands of us safety and efficiency, mostly efficiency, in a consumeristic society. So we tend to be optimizers of time, right? I'm thinking about in my family, which part of the machinery of that family, of that nuclei, am I? Am I fulfilling my role properly? In my workplace, not just because I need to do physical things, wash dishes, do laundry, so on and so forth. I'm talking about the spiritual values that we came here to learn. If we go to the Spirit's book, we go back to the hierarchy of spirits, part of the Spirit's book. Go to good spirits. The majority of us are imperfect spirits. Very few are good, and only one was perfect, and that was Jesus, right? 2,000 years ago. So let's think about the spiritual values: patience, compassion, benevolence, indulgence, goodness, wisdom, knowledge. We're still far away from being one part of the machinery that is truly delivering that which we are capable of. We're so much goodness inside of us in the form of the latent seed that we are still yet to develop that. But sometimes we're better than others in order to deliver that. He says, you say that the Lord will meet every need, that he never fails to fulfill his promises, that his infinite goodness will solve every problem, and that our faith must remain unconditional. And you would be speaking the truth. So God is, in Spiritism, one. He's the creator of all things. And yes, God knows us. God has the power to do what it needs to be done. God is good. God is justice. God is light, right? God brings us this beautiful life and the divine resources and loaned us time, money, resources, families, reincarnation, so that we can, on the flesh, truly learn and progress. Yet, he says, truth does not justify the laziness or imprudence of the servant. So you and I are creatures. How are we faithfully fulfilling our duties based on the fact that we know God provides? He say, because just saying God provides never fails to fulfill his promise, will solve every problem. Doesn't mean I can just sit on my couch and wait for God to solve my problems. If I am incarnated in the material world, there are material things that I have to go, stand up, wake up, get ready and do, right? It says, whatever our position in the Master's service, we must remember that if we wait upon him, it is only natural that he also waits upon us. So when we think about our position in spreading the good news through Spiritism, are we just waiting for Jesus to do his part? Because he will be waiting for us. Jesus is inviting, and many are called, right? He's constantly working with God to fulfill the designs of God for this planet Earth and his governance. And we are co-creators in a lesser plane. Andrea Louise, Evolution in Two Worlds. So are we co-creating in goodness each and every day? Because Jesus is goodness, right? He's waiting for us. He's calling and waiting. Hey, do your part and I'll do mine. He says, let us stop using our stumbles and faults, limitations and imperfections as excuses for fleeing from our responsibilities. Sometimes we just say, well, I'm not Jesus, I'm not Chico Xavier, I'm not Mother Teresa, therefore I cannot. Yes, we can. Every person has something good that he or she can deliver to this world. You have unique talents that are just yours that someone else in your neighborhood might need. Whatever you know how to do well, you can teach someone else. You can deliver a smile at the grocery store. You can be kinder when you drive on the street. You cannot prevent yourself from cursing. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Little things that we can do. We can call a friend. We can forgive our loved ones. There's something you and I can do each and every day in order to fulfill our responsibilities, not flee from them. So we need to be faithful in pulling the plow alongside humanity. So we and Jesus, he's counting on you to help him. We do our part, Jesus does his part. He sends us loving messengers. God sends us our mentors. We count on them, as they say in the Spirit's book, that they're never tired of our questions. And of course, we have to ask good questions, right? We're not asking, what do I dress today? What car do I buy? Those are not good questions. But the questions that are decent may look like, how do I say this to this person? How can I be kinder when delivering feedback? How can I serve this person well? Sometimes listening and being silent is the work that we need to do. So, dear friend, today we remain faithful. We remain faithful that God will grant us many more opportunities to be together today. Today and always, a few times a week, we come here together to learn from Emmanuel. And God willing, we'll be back again soon. Until then, you stay well, stay safe, take care of your loved ones. Bye-bye.